Hey everybody, and welcome to our. Sorry, I'm so sick. Don't mind my voice, people. Welcome to our episode. Chris tells all 7, 8, 9, 8, 9. I don't know. 3 episodes in one, people. Let's just start there. I'm here as always with Michael Riccardi, and we're going to talk about everything that happened this week on our 2-night extravaganza of The Bachelor. You can follow me on Twitter at dgoodyear1975. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching this live, if you want to tweet us any questions or comments, hashtag YRRLive. We'll answer them. We'll see what we can do. You can become part of the show. And what's going on with you, Mikey?
Nothing much. You can find me on Twitter at MikeyRich1122, and you can find my Real Housewives of Beverly Hills blogs at YourRealRecaps.com/Bravo.
Awesome. Okay, so where do we start? I'm quickly going to go over the Chris Tells All, because Chris didn't tell very much.
I didn't even see it.
Oh.
My TiVo didn't TiVo it. I only TiVoed the episodes. I didn't get the tell-alls. But from what I read online, it didn't seem like much happened.
No, they started off with Kelsey. She's just as fake as ever. I don't know. She's like, I don't hold any ill will, blah, blah, blah. It's just, who cares? The women tell all is going to be a bloodbath. That's all there is to that.
Oh, some of these girls are going to be going after each other.
Yeah, these girls are gonna go crazy. Then it was Chris. Chris got the bulk of the episode. Again, not much. Like, they touched a little bit on how crazy Ashley S. really was, and there was like this montage of like just how weird she was. Like, she used to like wander the mansion, just like looking through doors. She'd like go outside and like where craft services was and where like production was. She thought the accounting department was a betting ring. Like, it was
Showing how crazy she was.
Yeah, she was really out there. And then they showed her audition tape, and they're like, she was normal. Like, nobody could predict that this girl would go so insane.
Apparently, they have to do their castings with every girl drunk.
Yeah.
So they can see what they're really like.
That's totally it. Like, it was crazy. And yeah, so she was nuts, and then they had Andy come on because, fresh off her breakup with Josh, and she cried the whole time. I wish you had seen it because I don't know if it was fake. I don't know if it was. I mean, I'm sure it was probably genuine. She seemed like quite literally broken up about it. Like, I guess they're two very like strong, passionate personalities, and it would just clash. And like they've been struggling for a while, and I guess like the question of why don't you have a wedding date was kind of what clicked everything in their brains. Is like, why don't we have a wedding date? Like, if we are in love and we want to spend the rest of our lives together, what's holding us back, kind of thing.
He was the wrong decision anyways from her season.
Oh yeah.
It was written on the walls all over the season that was never going to work.
If you're going to choose lust over like regular, like real connection, then yeah, it's never going to work. Like, and I think that's what he was. It was more lust over anything else. And so I don't know. I got the impression, I wish you had seen it so you could either agree or disagree, that they're kind of prepping her to have a second kick at the can at this, like Brad did. Maybe not this season, but maybe like next season or the season down the road, like depending on like if they can find someone with a good. Hold on, I gotta shut this door here. If they can't find any good personalities to be the Bachelorette, I think maybe Andy might be that person to fill in, kind of thing. So I don't know. What do you think of her being a second time around?
I don't want it. I thought she was so boring and just kind of cut off a little bit when she did her season. I mean, she's really pretty and she's a nice person, but I don't know. After watching this season with Chris, it's like you can really tell Chris trying to find a wife. I mean, he really goes in there with the conversations with these girls as much as he's capable of. But, I mean, like, I don't know. I felt like watching Andy's season, it was just like, she was there. She was just there. And it was, the guys had to do everything for her.
Yeah, it was very poker face with her. I don't know, maybe she's learned her lesson. Maybe it might be a better season now that she's had
I want Caitlyn. I want Caitlyn's crazy ass to be the
I
Bachelorette.
I do
Just so
too.
it'd be so entertaining because she is so funny.
I love me some Caitlyn, so I am totally on board with that. So that was basically the Chris tells all. It was very boring, nothing really too exciting. And then we hop into
Episode.
the episode and
Right away, goodbye, Megan.
goodbye Megan, and like didn't even make it to the rose ceremony.
And
Goodbye
dude,
Megan.
I feel so bad in the situations like this where it's like, and Whitney said it's like she couldn't even come in and give the girls a hug bye. It's like
Maybe they don't
they
allow
must
it.
not
Maybe
let
it's
it. They must not
yeah.
let it happen because they probably don't want the girls to all cry or something. But it's just like I just feel so bad. She just walks to the other room and then it's just like, okay, it's not working. Bye, and then just walks her out. Car picks her up. And she leaves. It's like, bye everybody through the window. Like,
Yeah, and also, like they're doing this for TV, right? So like who knows, she might have made her TV exit and then had like I mean, she's got to go get her stuff.
yeah, they see her at like the hotel.
So yeah, so I'm sure she did say goodbye, but I mean, Megan didn't seem too upset about it. Like she kind of went into that conversation going, "Listen, I know I'm like not anywhere near like the Brits and the Whitney kind of stage of the relationship. So like if you're not feeling it and I'm not feeling it, like let's just kind of end this here," which is kind of what happened. And then Chris decided himself that he couldn't let anybody else go. So
Well, gosh, it's already been like 5 girls in 2 episodes.
yeah, he's kept the last six, and now they're all in Iowa. Good old Iowa. They're all in Des Moines.
They're
So
getting such a good vacation.
yeah, they're getting a great vacation.
So
Great vacation.
that is a very, very pretty big city.
Yeah, Des Moines is great. I'm all
Yeah.
for Des Moines. I am not really for
It's just
Arlington. I'm
funny
telling
that
you
they
that right
can't go anywhere else.
now. Like so, Jade gets the first one-on-one, so she's the first one to get a second one-on-one. Now, is that telling to you? Like, does that kind of
No, because at this point you gotta self-assume most of the girls are gonna get a one-on-one.
yeah.
But it was just also the first sign of Brit snapping.
Yeah, exactly. Brit wanted it. Brit felt she deserved it. Brit's very entitled through this whole process.
Well,
It's
that's where you see different personalities. You see Brit snap like that, like start crying about her just getting the date card, and then you see the opposite side of the room where you see like Caitlyn go, "Oh, just give her the ring," like you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
the other girls just really get the process where Brit just really either she's faking it all or it's all about Brit.
yeah. Well, I think it's all about Brit. But Jade's date is a little telling. Like, I kind of wonder, like, she gets to go to Arlington. She gets to see Chris's life, Chris's house, meet Chris's parents briefly. Like, that to me is huge. Like, he wouldn't just bring anybody home where they're gonna like run into
It
people
was
he
it was
knows.
definitely a front runner that got picked for that kind of a date
Yeah,
because she met the parents.
met the parents, met some of the
She
friends. I mean,
saw
she
some
had to meet.
friends. Well, yeah, but I mean,
Did you
she got to
notice
see
all
the hometown first.
the ones behind them in the football game were the same ladies that were on the live premiere.
Oh, really?
The one for sure, the one with like the Kate Goslin hair, that that one was one of the four hometown girls they talked to on the live premiere.
Huh.
But yeah, so what did you think of Arlington?
The thing. Okay, this is my thing about this whole situation. I totally get it's a small town. I totally get that there's nothing to do. I totally understand that. But you know what? I'm pretty sure Chris has a fat house with some nice shit in it. And I'm pretty sure like Des Moines was only like what, hour and a half away or something? Like
3 hours
3
away.
hours? That's
Three
like
hours.
Vegas. That's like Vegas for me.
Chicago's 4 hours away and Des Moines is three.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's other towns in between with semi-decent populations with stuff to go do. Like at least a movie theater.
It's an hour away.
That doesn't matter.
I'm not driving an hour to go see a movie, honey. I'm sorry.
I drive an hour to go every day.
Especially when you have to like once they get married and they have kids and like that's a 2 hour trip plus a 2 hour like
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to make that trip no matter what because there ain't gonna be a school there.
no honey no
So you wouldn't live in Iowa.
I I
In
live
that
in
city.
Iowa. I
In
would
that
not.
place, I mean.
No, absolutely no. Chris's house is gorgeous, like that house they were in, and we saw it last season on Andy's too. Chris's house is gorgeous. Give me that house, move it to somewhere where there's a movie theater and a grocery store. I don't ask for much. I don't need a metropolis. I live in the suburbs. I'm okay being an hour away from like a major metropolis, but I need to be able to go places on a daily
Yeah,
basis,
but the
especially if
reality
you
is
have
too.
children.
Reality
Especially
is
if you
though, all of these girls have to accept the fact they're going to commute for a job. I mean, you just know that. So whether commuting or not commuting, I mean, you're going to have to drive around anyway. You're not going to just be in your same town. They have to all drive somewhere for work. Whitney's going to have to find a hospital. Brit would have to find a new restaurant. Uh,
I'm sorry, but if you gotta commute to be a waitress, there's a problem.
I just think, like, you're going to have to find new jobs.
Jade will have to go to LA to go model nude for Playboy anyway.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, or
come
she could just
on.
model in the cornfields. I mean, they'll just come to her.
I'm sure
But
Playboy would love that.
I'm just saying, like, I think the reality is if you do one of the,
There's commuting and then there's commuting, and I'm just like,
SoCal where it's like I can go freaking 10 miles down the road and it takes me 45 minutes. Like that's where I live, so I'm used to that kind of shit. So if it wasn't no traffic, I'd drive an hour easy.
See, honey, for me, the movie theater is 10 minutes down the road. I literally walk across the street to the grocery store. My kid's school is a 5-minute walk away.
My city's just now getting a movie theater.
Like, no, I can't. Like, I drive 25 minutes to work, and that's, like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, but maybe he's got enough money though where this girl can just come and not have to work.
Yeah.
Just sit on the ranch.
Once you have babies, though, like, they're going to be so isolated. Like,
Well, you never know. They could always move somewhere else and he can commute to the farm.
No, they're never moving out of Iowa. They're never moving out of Arlington. But I mean, it's just the fact that like you can like shoot a cannon down those streets any given day and hit not a soul. Like Hiroshima could go off on that place and it wouldn't matter. It would not matter. Nobody would like. But whatever. Iowa's way small. Like I mean, way small. But should Jade? Here's my question to you. Should Jade have told him about her modeling on that date?
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, I
think she should have told him about the modeling like on Cinderella date.
I think if she would have told about the modeling earlier, I don't think she would have went home when she did. I think he could have had a lot longer time to get to know her and get past it than get to this point to where it's like, shit, there's 4 and you did porn.
Yeah.
Like, you're the one that's gonna go. I mean, like, he said it wasn't it, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it was. Because I think Jade was here and Caitlyn was here. In the petting stool, at least. That's what I honestly think. And I think he did not tell her that she would not have gone.
And, like, how can you bring her into your church?
That's the thing. Like, she should have had told him that earlier so he could have had the time to really process it. And if he really accepted it and saw this isn't really who she is, she's a nice, sweet girl, he could have got past it if he ended up picking her. But with the time he did it, it was just very limited on her time to think about. His time to think about.
I think this should have been. This is like deal breaking information to some people. I think that needs to be put on the table because like look at how many so many people have gone home that maybe if this was his deal breaker,
that could have stayed.
He could have gotten to know. So like that's my issue with the way she keeps holding out and going, oh my god, I want to tell him, oh my god, like that's my only issue with that. So I mean,
this has been the season 2 of secrets.
Yeah,
I swear every girl's got a secret. I mean, some people tastefully dealt with theirs than others, but I mean, it's just crazy to me because then we go to Whitney's date. In Chicago, and Chris is very familiar with Chicago, so Whitney's like, I don't have to. Or no, they don't go to Chicago. Whitney's date is. They're in Des Moines.
Oh yeah, they walked around Des Moines and took pictures.
Yeah, they didn't leave. They took like honeymoon photos.
Yeah, but she met his 3 best friends. Now that's a huge deal for a guy. to meet your best friends, and they kind of grilled her, and
I think it was pretty telling, the one-on-ones. I think Jade was a front runner,
yeah,
honestly. I think these one-on-one dates really proved it. I mean, she met his family, went to his hometown. Now Whitney's meeting his best friends.
yeah, like
Like,
these are the two that
these
are
were girls that were very up there.
like 1-2 like split, and like Whitney said she would give up everything to move to Arlington, and I'm just like it baffles my mind, like someone who, like, when we go to her hometown and we find out like we know she's a nurse, we know she's a fertility specialist who's so passionate about what she
There's
does.
100 hospitals.
Yeah, you can work at any hospital, that's not my issue, but what she does is specialized. You can't do that in any hospital.
Yeah.
She's so passionate about what, like, the line of nursing she's in, not just nursing in general, but the field that she's in.
Yeah, but
It,
she could also make the choice to where she only does it like 3 days a week.
are you gonna commute? Like, I, I just
I,
question how happy she's gonna be giving up a career that she's worked A so hard for and B loves so much. That's
time will tell.
Time will tell, but that's my question with Whitney, and like, so I don't know, like, I know she loves him, like, I don't question any of her feelings towards Chris or anything. I just don't know if, like, like a year from now when she's settled into Arlington and realizes that she can't be the fertility nurse that she wanted to be,
Yeah.
if that's gonna cause resentment or make them break up, or
Then we also find out about her parents.
yeah, her mom is dead. She was raised by like a
She
single
doesn't even talk to
mother.
her father.
Yeah, like it's a
Like,
sad story.
it's just funny. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just people didn't make the season about their stories, and they
Yeah.
waited for the time to tell them. Like, I honestly think Jade at least should have told him this time. This date is when Jade should have said it. If she didn't tell him earlier, she should have pulled a Whitney and told before hometown.
But like the thing is, like, your mother being dead isn't. I mean, it's a huge piece of information, but that's not going to change
No,
your
I'm not saying that.
relationship.
I'm just saying,
Like,
like, Whitney went into it, though, holding that to herself until it was, okay, the next step is going to be hometown. If I'm going through, he needs to know, like, I
yeah,
don't
well, he's
have
going to need to
that
know, like, it's not
traditional
going to affect my
family.
mother. He's going to know it's
Yeah,
not going to affect my mother. But like, that's not something that's like a make or break. Like,
no.
and she probably didn't want it. Like, I mean, watching like Juan Pablo season, like, Claire pulled the dead daddy card out every chance she got.
But I'm saying there were so many girls this whole season using anything that their story was, constantly using it to
Yeah,
stay. And it's like a couple of these girls really held on to some things.
yeah.
That's
So
why they're still there.
exactly, and like, if you can see, like, anytime someone started to cause drama, Chris was like, "No, I can't." Like, if you were a drama stirrer, he got rid of you. He took care of business. If he didn't, because he doesn't want drama. He lives in Iowa. Like, he wants
Yeah.
someone fun. He wants someone that, like, he can have a good time with, but he doesn't want someone that's gonna, like, be the talk of the town. Like, could you imagine? Like,
That's 400 people.
yeah. So, like, these dates were just really boring to me, and like, we didn't see a whole heck of a lot of conversation out of anything.
These were two episodes that should have been their own episodes, not starting in late into the match.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
we wasted at least 15, 20 minutes on the first episode. The second episode, we wasted like 30 minutes
Yeah.
before we got to the points.
But what did you think of the road trip? Of the girls going to Iowa, like,
I think
going
stuff
on.
was said more than they showed us.
Oh, there definitely
Because
was.
those girls definitely felt a little harder about Brit than they kind of portrayed to us that Brit said.
Yeah, like, I guess Brit was telling them that she couldn't see herself in Iowa, and I think she did kind of say, "Oh, I can't see myself here." But
There was
then,
a voiceover in the preview that said
yeah,
that, and then in the episode there was no voice saying it, so it was kind of weird.
and we still haven't seen the scene where he's apologizing to everybody.
I think stuff's got missed and skipped.
I think stuff got put on the cutting room floor. Or I don't know, but
But then we get the group date
yeah. Then we get the
that
group
Brain
date.
was not happy about.
No.
That girl, man, she was ready to stab those other bitches.
See, and what happened, like, with this episode too, is like, I'm like, there's a group date. There's only 3 girls on it. There's only like 20 minutes left of the episode. We're not getting a rose ceremony. Becca's sitting at the hotel. What happened to
I think we
Becca?
saw Becca for like 5 seconds the whole episode.
Yeah, it's like, why is Becca, like, it's a little late in the game to be leaving girls at the hotel, don't you think?
But that's like I said, we continue into the next episode
Yeah, so
again.
I
It's
was I
just
was like really concerned for Becca then. I was like, what's going on with Becca? But here's what bothers me about Chris. Like he plays such favorites with these girls, and it's like, he pulls Brit like out of the building, away from Caitlyn and Carly, to like make out with her and talk with her, and then like they show Carly's one-on-one time, and she's sitting in the bleachers where the girls are watching her. How is she supposed to form a connection when you got 2 girls
staring at you.
sitting there looking at you? And I mean, like Carly's not gonna be like, well, like Brit would have been like, I don't care, and I'll like dry hump him right here, but Carly's got a little bit more decorum than that, and it's like, I'm not going to go all over him in front of other girls. And then she uses the time because I guess
She said some
Brit
things.
was telling Chris on her like about how she loves Iowa and she can't wait to move and blah blah blah. Yet she was telling them that she can't see herself there. So Carly's taking it upon herself, which is never a good sign, to
Speak up.
speak up and to tell him. And I mean, he's kind of glad that she does. Like he's like, because she doesn't really do it in a bad way. It's not like she's
I think it's
bad.
because she says it's sometimes it's one of those things where you think it, but you really don't believe it. And then when someone tells you, you're kind of like, okay, I kind of was starting to get that feeling that it wasn't genuine. And then when you say, oh, all the girls, it's almost like the Kelsey thing. It's like all the girls think this about this one girl again, like, and then she kind of just explodes on him.
And like the thing with that, like the backstory kind of in with that too, like after reading Chris's blog, is that it wasn't just Carly that said, like Jade had said something like the episode before, like that you didn't see, and a couple of the girls had started to mention things that we just didn't get to see. So when Carly said it kind of pieced every piece together for him and made it click. So then after the hockey thing, when they're at their little like after party business, again he pulls aside Brittany or Brit. When I call her Brittany all of a sudden, Brit aside, and he's like, no, 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 baby, love, like I saw the sunset, and now I can see myself in Iowa. Like, what?
We were leaving the town and saw the sunset and thought, this is just so beautiful. I could live here. Like,
yeah, like, you know what? No, I can't. And like, so he kind of is like, okay, whatever. And then, he has his one, like, we didn't see a one-on-one with Caitlyn earlier, so he has it now. And it's been a long time since their one-on-one date. Like, it's been a while since these two have really been able to get some time together. So, like, she's like, I'm feeling a little behind in the process. And he's like, no, 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 don't feel that way or whatever. And, he knows that she needs a little bit of validation at this point in time. And, like, I mean, Brit gets so much from him. And, like, I kind of feel bad for Carly because Carly's never gotten shit from him. But, so he gives her the rose, and she walks in with the rose. And, like, you could just see in Brit's face, like, Brit's about to lose her mind.
she loses her mind. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so, like, and it's just...
Chris just ends up walking out. It was so awkward.
Yeah, like I can't bring you home to my family if I don't know that I'm number one, and blah, blah, blah. And, like, Caitlyn is right
Poor Caitlyn,
there.
just making her feel like shit. Like,
yeah,
and I'm glad Caitlyn said something.
You're touching Caitlyn. You're so close to her. Like, she's right there in the room with you. Like, what is your problem? And, like, Chris wasn't happy about it, and he's trying to explain, but she's just being, like, she's an unreasonable toddler. Like, that's what happens to my kids when they have a meltdown. Like, that's basically what it is. And so he just gets up and leaves the 3 of them to sit there and, like, this awkward, like...
Deal with it.
Yeah, like, I'm out of here, like, peace, and, like, leaves. It's like when he doesn't know what to say, it's either kiss them or leave. He just doesn't... If he can't kiss them... Yeah,
I can't kiss her right now, so I'm just going to walk out the room.
Yeah, so he just walks out of the room and leaves them. And, like, God bless Carly for, like... it's been no secret I'm a Carly fan. I'm a Caitlyn fan. I love both of them. Carly's been getting slammed on social media like every time they like show a commentary because she's real and because she's honest. I don't think she's hateful. I think she's just, I mean, this is all heavily edited, so everything is pieced together, whatever. But like when you look at it, when she looks at her and goes, like, you just got the group date rose last week. Like, you can't realistically expect to
Every
get
day.
every single rose. Like, let's get real.
Well, that's because Brit thinks it's all about her.
Exactly, and like
And we
Brit doesn't
literally
like
went from the
that.
Brit show to the no show.
Yeah, it's almost like Kelsey's like spirit embodied Brit.
Brit
Like,
just Brit just cares about herself. It kind of showed that a lot towards the end here.
yeah, it's just so that's how we leave this episode, and it's just yeah, it's so freaking weird. I don't like how this is so choppy. So that's how we leave this episode. We go into Monday, and then we learn that Becca does get a one-on-one date. Like Chris has to put all this crap aside now to deal with a day with Brit. So I guess he has a loft in Des Moines. It's not his loft. He said he's like
He's
it's like
renting it.
it's not even. It was just rented for the show. Like it was just
Yeah.
like he wasn't supposed to stay at the hotel, but he ended up staying there a lot. Like that's where he was supposed to stay. So that's where he takes her. And like, what did you think of like Becca having this like 4 year on and off again relationship, but never
I'm
having said I
assuming
love
it
you?
was very, very off and on. Like
Yeah,
4 years. I actually saw a thing about her in an interview that I guess she's still, or she says she's still friends with that guy, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's still friends with the guy, and it's just one of those things that just wasn't working. But I don't know. I feel really like I thought Becca could even be the Bachelorette for next season if she didn't win. But the way her past is, and the way she is with Chris, is just she's just 4 years is a long time to not really feel like you love the person.
Yeah, and like why do you
It's
keep
like,
trying
why would you
again?
even be in the relationship if you weren't in love? It's like for that long. I mean, that's a long time.
It is. It's a long time, and like why do you keep going back for more? Like that's what I
That's what I
never
mean. If she says
understood.
it's on again, off again, how could it ever go back on if you weren't really in love with the person?
Yeah, like oh I didn't love you last week, but let's see what's going
Yeah,
on.
like let's try this again. Maybe it'll be
Yeah,
better.
I don't know. And then so yeah, that was basically all there is. And then like the girls back at the hotel are having a conversation about like I guess they're filling in Jade and Whitney about Brittany's or why am I calling her Brittany? Oh my god.
Brit's meltdown.
Brit's meltdown. And then in walks Brit and says, yeah, I just packed my bags, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna talk to him first. I'm definitely gonna go, but I gotta talk to him. So there might be a chance I could stay. And like Carly and like all of them are just like,
But they gave it to her. They were not letting her off the hook easy with that comment. They were just like, it's like, well, so when you talk to her, you might change your mind. Well, I don't know. At this point, I just don't know what he can say. But maybe. And they're like, so you're not necessarily going home.
you know
She's
why
like,
she
well,
wants to
I'm
talk to
going.
him.
I'm
They
like,
hit it. They hit the nail on the head at the rose ceremony. She wanted him to beg her to stay.
yep.
That's what she wanted.
That's why all those girls laughed the second she ran away with them.
Exactly. So like they go into the rose ceremony and Chris Harrison walks in, which you know is never ever a good sign. And at this point, like if you've ever watched the show, like
You know the format.
yeah, these are the episodes where the cocktail party sort of kind of goes by the wayside and is just like, no, I'm just gonna decide who I want to be with and who I don't want to be with. So now Jade's freaking out because Jade has decided that this was the cocktail party she was going to tell him at, which why would you take a time where you only get like maybe 15 minutes as opposed to when you had a whole day to tell him something like this?
Exactly.
And you're telling him a potentially deal-breaking secret 10 seconds before he has to make the decision on whether or not he wants to keep you around.
Yeah. It's
Like
crazy.
it's just so stupid. And then Brit's freaking out because now she doesn't have a chance to like get her to beg him to stay, and like it's just so he starts in and she's like, I have to talk to you, and all the girls are like, here we go, we knew it, let's go. She wants him to beg, blah blah blah, and thank Christ Chris's eyes are open. That's all I have to say.
He did not let her off the hook.
He was not like, I love how he said, this is not what I see in my wife. Like, just let her have it. So happy.
And then there was the cry.
The cry.
I'm sorry.
The cry.
That's not. If that girl is sitting in the front of that building and they can hear her ass inside crying, that is on purpose.
And if you're
That
crying,
is not a real cry. If you're outside screaming, crying, and people inside can hear you crying,
and
that's
they
not
can't
real.
tell whether you're crying or laughing,
Yeah, that's not real. Because
and
she's
there's no tears. There were never
just
any
crinkles her
tears.
face up.
Like there were never any tears. Like if you're crying that hard, that's when you get like the big old ugly face, like snot coming out of your
Yeah,
nose kind of cry.
it was a
Like
fake cry.
that was such a fake cry, and I just like, ugh, couldn't deal with it. And then I have to go into this rose ceremony where my heart is broken again when he sends home Carly, and I'm just like, oh, like I didn't know who I wanted to go home because I actually really do like all four of these girls, but I'm just like, well, no, why Carly? Like I just,
And by the way, I was right. Brit may have walked out before Carly, but she technically made it to 5. Technically, there's 6.
I know.
So I was right. I still have
You
my
were
4
right.
girls left.
You're right. I'm gonna have to buy you a beer if I ever meet you,
If I ever go to Canada.
or I ever go to LA or whatever. But yeah, so now Carly's gone, and like it broke my heart to watch her in the limo. Like a lot of these girls, like their exits, I'm just like no, but Brit's exit, like just it made it. I feel bad for her, and I kind of do think they might be kind of grooming her for Bachelorette, just because she kind of has this sad story about this guy
Not
that
being
was,
loved, wanting to
yeah,
be
and stuff like
loved.
that. So, and why can't I find a guy for me, kind of thing. So, like
That's
fingers
what I kind
crossed.
of got the vibe from her exit speech. Gave me that vibe.
Yeah. So here's hoping that either Carly or Caitlyn, I'm good with either or of them, are the next Bachelorette. And, so now we're going to hometowns, which we end up in Shreveport, Louisiana.
And I was a little bit annoyed because they breezed
They
through these
did.
hometowns.
They breezed through these things so fast. And my only issue with Becca's hometown was her sister. I'm like, what was wrong with her? Like, she made this girl sound like this emotionless, like, asexual being that, like, she doesn't feel the urge to be intimate with a man. And, well, like, what are you saying? This is your
The,
sister.
the mom and the sister kind of didn't paint Becca in the best light. Because the mom's like, she's never even brought a guy home. I've never seen her hanging on a guy before. I'm like, man, what does Becca do? Is she a lesbian? Like, gosh, she's never brought anyone home before. I don't know. It just seemed weird. It was just like,
It
I
was,
don't know.
yeah.
It was just very like, Becca's so weird to be doing this kind of a thing. I don't know. I wonder if her family wasn't really supportive of her decision either.
It was just so weird. I'm just like, what do you guys, like, just the way her sister made her be like, she's never been intimate with, like, blah blah blah, and then like the one-on-one with like Becca and her sister was like, you need to tell him, like, this is now getting to the point where he needs to know what's going on, like what
That's the
your
thing
values
too.
are.
You'd think we'd be out of secrets by now, but no, he still has to wait to find out Becca's a virgin. Like, that poor guy cannot go 1 week of dates without someone being like, oh, by the way, what's going on? It's like, isn't this almost over? Why do you all still got secrets?
I
Like,
know, and he must be like another virgin, like
yeah,
I got two widows, now I got two virgins, like what is going on here? Like he's just this poor guy, like there's never a dull week for him. But then like this week too, like they didn't really kind of glaze on it. I just found out from his blog that this her hometown like date was like her birthday, which is why he took her to the fair. Like he got her a present, and I guess
makes sense then.
in some of their earlier conversations she had said like how much she loves the fair and all that stuff. So he arranged to have that Ferris wheel ride after the fair was closed, which is so like that's so sweet. Like I gotta give the guy props for like
Making that effort.
listening to conversation and doing something that special.
I think, honestly, he's had his eyes set on like 6 girls for a long time.
Yeah,
And everyone else was just fillers.
exactly. And I mean, someone that who doesn't feel the urge to be intimate. I mean, I didn't see that with like I don't
Mm-mm.
see that with her and Chris. Like
No. That's
Just
why I'm
because
saying like
she's
it's just
not
weird.
giving it up to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks past her doesn't mean she's not feeling the urge. Like,
Yeah.
the girl's got some values. Like, let's
But then we go to Whitney's,
Whitney go
and
to
she's the
Chicago.
only one that we see ask the sisters ask if he could propose. She was
Yes,
the only one that was
it's the only
no.
one we saw. It's the only
Yes.
one we saw. He did ask both Caitlin's father and stepfather for their permission, but we didn't see anything. We didn't see any of that, like that conversation go down. So he did. He asked. He told Whitney he wanted to ask, like he wanted to know who he would be asking, because that's kind of like a delicate situation
Yeah.
to navigate, because I mean we didn't have parents to meet, so we met a sister, we met grandmother, and we met her uncle, who is like the closest thing to a father figure she has.
Yeah.
And she, like Whitney herself, was very like hell bent on wanting her sister's approval. Like she's like, I want you to be okay with this. Like, and I don't think I can be okay with this if you're not okay with this. And her sister was not like, I don't want this responsibility. Like, you're an adult. This is your decision.
But I did like the conversation because I felt like it was appropriate for what her sister felt. She didn't back down on her feelings about the situation, but she did at least just say, I don't want my sister being one of four. Like, I want her to be the one, and you don't know that, so you can call me when you know that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was a great response, at least. She was smart with it.
It was like, and that's an honest response. Like,
Yeah.
she's dating four other people right now. Like, it's an honest response. And yeah, I don't think she said anything bad. But I just thought she was a little harsh with Whitney, like when she's like, well, I don't want that responsibility,
Yeah.
and don't put that on me. It's not fair.
But that could have been
Blah
something
blah
they've been
blah.
dealing with a lot of their life. Being the
Yeah.
older sister, younger sister dynamic. There could have been a lot of that, like, tension of random little issues with those two.
But what
When
did you?
you don't have parents, I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah. I mean, her mother's only been dead a couple. Yeah. I mean, her mother has been alive like her whole like
Yeah.
formative years. Like, I mean, like the woman's like what, 29 years old or something like that. Like, so like.
Yeah, but they're also girls. Don't girls get attached to each other? If it was my brother, I'd be like, yeah, fucking marry the bitch. Like, I don't care. Go for it. I don't have to live
Although
with you.
I just have brothers, so I don't know. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
what
the
I'm saying.
sister
I know
dynamic.
I have some
So
friends that have all sisters, and they get all that tight bond and shit.
yeah, I don't know. I have like older brothers, so they're just like whatever, just leave me alone kind of business. But what did you think of like the little like man room and like sending Chris in there for a sample? I would
Oh,
laugh my ass off. I
at
would
the
laugh my
hospital?
ass off if Jade's
I
porn
think he
magazine
really
was
kind of thought he was going to do it. Like, she was
for
going
a
to ask him to
split
do it. I
second.
think he really
Yeah,
thought it. But he
for
seemed really into that moment, like, seeing her job, what she does. He seemed really into it.
well, that's what I'm saying. She's very like into what she does. Like she loves her job, which is why
She could find a hospital in Chicago.
but not a
Or to...
fertility specialist. Like that's what
Yeah,
I'm
you
talking
can.
about.
You can find that anywhere. Any super big hospital. I bet you any Google it. You could find it. There's a lot of major cities over there in that
Yeah,
area.
but I mean, I think like the closest one would either be like Chicago, which is like 4 hours away, or Des Moines, which is like 3 hours away. Like that's gotta be like major medical centers. So I can't see her doing that anywhere else. Like I just,
Never know. She could always just use her nursing degree for something different.
I don't know. But if you're so passionate about like if this is what she loves to do and this is what
Let's be
it's like
real.
telling a
If they got you...
cardiologist. It's like moving a cardiologist from Des Moines to Arlington, and going, well, now you can be a pediatrician.
Yeah, but let's be real. If she is the one picked, they gotta start making babies anyway, so...
I don't know. Like, I think if you're gonna pull yourself out of a career that you've worked, I mean, and it's not just like any career. Like, this is a career that took you a long time to do. It's a difficult career. So, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna be like in a year from now. I don't know if she's gonna be okay with this.
Yeah, but, I mean...
Like I would feel like I wasted my education, I wasted my talent, I wasted like my dream, like because she's too young to be giving up on like a whole career. Like
They could always be bi-coastal, and they could have a place in LA, too. I mean, he does not have to be in Iowa at all times. and they could
He's
be
never
in.
leaving Iowa. He has made
No,
that
no,
clear.
no. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it ain't always farm season. They're like frozen right now, so there ain't much farming going on.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like there's moments
I don't
like
think they would ever move to LA. I can see them splitting their time definitely between Chicago and
well, that's what I mean. Like
Iowa.
there's easily other places they can get a penthouse or something in and be there for the time they're not farming, and she could work in those times. I mean, I don't know how much she really needs to work all the time. I'm sure Chris makes plenty of money.
Yeah, but I don't know how many jobs are like, okay, yeah, you could go for 6 months and come back. We don't need you for 6 months. Like,
In the medical field, though, it's a little different.
I don't know. But like I like Whitney, and so does Heather. I have a comment here from Heather. She's like, I like Whitney. I'd like to see Chris choose her. Um, I've I really at this point really have no issues if whoever he chooses. I like them all. So kind of agree with Heather there. And now we go to Caitlin in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am so disappointed that we are not in Leduc, Alberta. That's all I have to say. Like, why aren't we in Leduc?
Her family seems like they got some money.
Yeah,
They got like 5 homes and some shit. Like I was like, damn.
they are they're what we call up here snowbirds.
They run away from the snow.
But if you live in Leduc, Alberta's cold.
You live somewhere else too, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would
You don't just live there.
I would be peacing for 6 months out of the year too. I'd be like, see you later. These people obviously don't work or whatever, but so like Caitlin, I guess, has like a mom and a dad who are divorced, who have married other people. So she's married. He's making up for the parents he didn't meet at Whitney's house at Caitlin's
Yeah,
house.
it's getting tons of parents
Yeah.
at her place. I love how she meets him behind a dumpster.
Yeah, I know that. Well, that's her humor, right? That's her sense
Yeah.
of humor. Like, you took me to Costco, I'm gonna take you to dumpster diving, and but she makes him rap, which is like, oh my god, this is so bad.
Yeah, he's not the best rapper. I don't know why they keep making him sing so much.
I don't know, but apparently he wrote a rap for her earlier, like I think like last episode. I think he wrote like we didn't get to see any of it, but he wrote a rap for her, which I think makes this kind of all make sense now.
Yeah,
And
they do it.
and you know what he did though? He gave her. Did you not notice? Like he gave her the like there was like this 20th Avenue sign that the rose was on in Des Moines.
I didn't
That
notice that.
like what that yeah like the plate that would hold the rose at the
Yeah.
last group date was on this like street sign, and he gave her that street sign.
Oh, that's cute. I didn't catch
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, so then they go back to her house, and I was so disappointed that we didn't get to see more of her family.
I wanted a whole episode of the hometowns.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of sucked that it's like, there was some funny moments and there was some good conversations that just got cut out because we had to cram, like, all this stuff in these episodes. I don't know, it just felt very rushed. These last, like, even last week's one, it's like constantly carrying over. This is like the 4th episode in a row now of carrying over stuff. It's like bogging down all of the information.
Exactly, and they realize now that like they can't carry over anymore. Like it just doesn't make.
Yeah, it's done. So they got to get through all these things to get to the rose ceremony.
So like we see we don't see Chris talk to anybody. All we do is see Chris talk to her mother, or Caitlin talk to her mother, and I guess Caitlin had heartbreak before, so her mother just wants to know that Caitlin's okay, which she is.
But Caitlin hearts Chris.
That was.
She didn't say love, but she hearts him.
But do you not realize like kind of why she did this?
No.
When Andy was in his hometown, he had the plane fly over with the Chris hearts Andy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because
those dots.
Yeah, so he wasn't in the space at that point where he could say I love you to Andy, but that kind of did it. So that's why that sign right there is why Caitlin was still around. I'm telling you right now, that sign right there. Because then we go to
Jade.
Daring, Nebraska to see Jade. And she walked around her hometown with him forever, still didn't tell him about this porn thing.
She was waiting the last minute.
But is freaking out that her family is going to tell him before her. So if you think that there's a point to that, and they almost did. Like, Her
She
family
has a
almost.
good family, which makes me think that she is a good girl and that she probably was, not as a good girl, but I mean, like, I do think that she got that LA bite and she came to LA to pursue stuff and got wrapped up in the gorgeous girl. You get approached with shit, and I think she just was like, I've been living in a small town my whole life. I'm going to do this, not really thinking about the future. That stuff ain't going away. It'll be there forever.
Not, yeah, your clips on TV forever, on the internet forever. That's all I gotta say about that. But like, if you're so afraid that your family's gonna let the cat out of the bag, tell them before,
Yep.
and be like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you now. We can talk about it later, but I want you to know now so that it's not a shock to you unless someone mentions it. But then he comes in and like her dad's telling him about how, she's been too much for guys in the past, and her brother's referring
They're
to
like
her as a freaking
tiptoeing
wild
around it.
horse. Yeah, like referring to her as a wild Mustang, and he's like, I don't understand where this is all coming from because Jade's been nothing but like sweet and
Sweet
shy
and
and
all.
meek and blah blah blah. And so now he's like, is there another side to Jade? And then I love Jade's dad though, because I have to say, like, that man, if I did that, my father would probably never ever ever talk to me again. Would never ever ever. Like he'd be rolling in his grave if I did it now, but if I did it before, he'd be like he beyond angry. Beyond angry. I don't know if her father was beyond angry and has just gotten past it.
Well, I'm sure he was probably angry when it happened, but
But I mean, he's like, you need to tell him because he needs to support you, for all of you, for what you did then, what you're gonna do, what you're doing now, like everything's like good for her father though. Like, I mean, for being able to like accept that from your daughter and like just
I mean, can't erase it. It
good
is what it
man,
is.
good man. That's all I gotta say. He's a good man. And then so that's all over. He's like wondering why she's a wild horse and a free spirit because he doesn't see that.
Well, he finds out.
Yeah, and then she takes him to the hotel room or his hotel room, and she took forever. Like, I'm like, just spit this out. Like, I just want to like slap her in the back of the head and let it come out. Like,
Now, would you have said yes to see the pictures?
yes,
Really?
yes.
I would not have looked at the pictures then. I would have been like, no, it's okay. Like,
If
don't, and
Anthony
I would have been back to my hotel
no,
room
no,
and been
no.
like,
Let's back this truck up. Let's back this truck up. If Anthony told you, I pose nude for Playgirl, you'll want to see, you would be like, no, honey.
on a reality TV show, I would say no. Not on
But
national TV. I
but
would
you
be like
notice he
him.
didn't say
It would be
yes.
so awkward. You know, he's standing there with like a
He didn't
salute.
say yes. He didn't say yes. I want to see them. He
He
said,
said it was up to
if
her.
it makes you feel more comfortable, I will look at them. And he giggled like a 12-year-old boy. Like,
And then she played the video. I was just like, this is like never ending. Like, stop showing things.
it's like, here's the less risque, and then oh, here it is. Look at me. I was just like, oh my god, it was so bad. I'm like, I mean, we've seen the picture that I showed, so I'm just like, I can just imagine that's what he's looking at, going, I've just seen all of you,
Yeah, like,
all of you.
and I mean, he's just a small town Iowa boy. Like, I don't know. I just think it was too much for him, and I think
Yeah.
she should not even offered to show him. She should have just left it at that. You know, he was gonna go back to his hotel room and Google her anyway.
Well, he's in his hotel room. He's like, that's my laptop.
Yeah,
Give it to
well,
me.
yeah. Save that link, actually, can you please?
It's in my history. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So at least you have to take her to the fantasy suite because you already got to see the goods.
Yeah. So I mean, he tells her it's not gonna change anything, but we all know that in the back. I mean, it might not. I don't think it made him disrespect her or like change how he feels, but I think he had to kind of think.
I just think when you only have like maybe 24 hours to make that decision, it's just not something that you want to leave in his mind at the last second.
No, and it's
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
can I bring this home to Mom? And Carly's right. Like, Carly was right. Like, by the way, Mom and Dad, don't Google my wife. Like,
Yeah. This is something that should have been said weeks ago so that he could have really made that proper decision and then got over it. But not drop the bomb right before, a day or two before rose ceremony, and it's like, there's only 4 of you left. I mean, she knew. She knew when she left. That's why she left. No matter what he says, she knows that was why.
Exactly. But she left that hotel room without her shoes on.
Yeah. Maybe she was just the next room over.
Like, are you in a hurry?
She's the next room down. She's like, I'm 2 doors down anyway. Don't mind. Just keep my shoes. I'll get them tomorrow.
Well, no, because they saw her walking out of the hotel with her shoes on. So I'm like, if you think they're staying with their family, they're not staying in the hotel. They got to be with their families.
Never know.
Yeah, I was like, oh my lord. Like, so then we end up back in Des Moines for the rose ceremony, and it was like, it came down to Jade
And Kate. Becca.
and Becca. And Jade ultimately goes home. Poor Jade.
And she says what? Shit? Or
Damn.
sucks?
She
Or
said
damn?
damn.
I was like, she said something.
The minute he said Becca, she went, damn.
And she knows. She knew. It was why.
Yeah, she knew she didn't play it right. So do you think that ABC would take a chance on her being the Bachelorette with that past?
After seeing the season of how she was, yeah.
And because I don't think it's a Jade issue, because I mean Jade is a great girl. Like I think.
The reality is,
I think it's the quality of man. I think it's the quality of guy that bit of information is going to draw in would be terrible.
I think if they did do Jade as a Bachelorette, they'd have to be very cautious of the screening process.
Yeah, like I just think that they would get every pervert, every freak, every nasty ass man that just wants to use her. Yeah, use her for sex. Think that because she did this like years ago, that's who she is today, and she's just gonna be a whore, and that's not who that girl is. Like,
I just want Caitlyn to be Bachelorette, just because I want someone fun.
Yeah, I do too.
Like I cannot go through another season of Andy and her boring dates, not eating, doing nothing. I mean, people are kind of bagging on Chris this season, but I mean, yeah, he may not have the best personality, but at least all of his dates were realistic. He was very in tune to his speaking to them and learning about them. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
I just think Caitlyn would be a fun one.
But listen, I just got a thing in the chat room here. Heather agrees with me. She's like, Dana, I'm like you. I have to have stuff around me, like stores, schools, and a movie theater. I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that realizes that an hour for a movie theater is ridiculous. And
it's the reality.
But you take 45 minutes because LA traffic blows.
I'm not even in LA. I'm a little over an hour from LA. LA can be 2 hours with traffic from my house. I'm in the valley.
California's traffic sucks. It's not that the movie theater is an hour away from you. It's that you guys just don't know how to take transit. Like,
we don't have transit.
That's what. How does LA not?
LA does, but where I live, there's no transit. You own a car. There's no.
Well, that's the thing. California has made even in LA, no one takes transit. Like.
No, because dirty. I drive my car in LA. I may get lost trying to find my car.
Are you not like Heather and take your helicopter to LA?
No, I leave that at home on the weekends. No,
are you in the OC?
No, I'm out by wine country, Temecula.
I have no idea where anything is in California.
I'm pretty much like, okay, there's San Diego, and there's LA, and then there's Palm Springs. I'm in the middle of all three. It takes me an hour pretty much to go each direction.
Okay, sure.
Whatever, don't hate. I can go to the mountains. I can go to Big Bear right now and get there in an hour into my snow. And I can take 45 minutes to get to the beach.
And 45 minutes to get to your movie theater? That's like 10 minutes down the road?
Pretty much. There's too many people. There's too many people and no roads. And California people do not drive very well, so... Because I like to go like 80 everywhere, and people don't like that, so.
Oh my god, no. I had something to say and I can't remember what it was now. Shit. I got all off kilter. I had a comment in the chat room. I was so excited. Heather, I love you, Heather.
It's my fake account, sorry.
No, it's not. It's Heather. I talk to Heather like almost every day. Shut up.
I'm just kidding.
Heather's my fan. My one of them. But yeah, no, I just. So, what do you think about Bali or Bali? Bali?
Are they all in Bali?
They're all going to
This is when he
Bali.
bangs them all, right?
Yeah, fantasy suite. All but one.
All but one, I mean.
Yeah.
You know Caitlin's going to do it, and I'm pretty sure Whitney will.
Oh my god, you know it.
Then he's going to see Becca and be like, oh, wah, 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 wah.
You know it. But I have to say, the best part, did you watch, like, to the end of the episode?
I think my thing cut off in the preview.
Oh.
Because I saw them going to Bali, and I
Did
didn't
you
really
see
see
the
any
outtakes?
talks.
Did you see
No.
that? Oh my god.
What was the outtakes?
Did you remember, like, oh, we didn't even, like, touch on when, like, when he talked to Whitney after the date, and, like, she was, like, I guess, in his...
Oh! No, I did see the outtake with the dog humping. He's, like, trying to have a serious conversation, and he's like,
and the dog's
oh my
going
god,
to
it's the
town on her
funniest thing
stuffed animal.
ever.
I've never seen girl dogs. I mean,
My parents' girl dog does that. It's a little schnauzer. It
apparently
humps
that's a
toys.
thing with girl dogs. I've never
It's a
had girl dogs,
dominance. It's a
but
dominance.
I've never seen girl dogs hump anything. I've never but apparently girl dogs like masturbate, and I'm like, that's just odd to me.
Yeah, it's all a form of dominance when dogs do that kind of stuff.
This dog was like, and she liked it rough, like.
Oh yeah. Hump, hump, on the neck, and then hump, 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 on the neck.
Chris was like, so that's how you do that?
Yeah, he was all impressed. He was like, damn,
Oh my
dog
god.
getting it.
That poor dog was so hilarious. And then Whitney posted a picture on Twitter of Lily sleeping, and she's like, she's all like, what did she say? She's all worn out after her performance on tonight's Bachelor. And I didn't know what she was talking about because, like,
Yeah, to see that part.
well, yeah, because, like, I mean, I was DVRing it or whatever, but, like, as soon as the episode's over, like, I have to go to work for 11 o'clock, so, like, as soon as I see, like, who goes home, I'm out of there and I'm gone, and I kind of watch the rest later, so, like, when I saw this, I was like, I have to go back and see, because everyone was like, oh my god, the dog was the star of the show, and I'm like, all I saw was, like, the dog on Chris's lap for about 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I don't know.
That would have been better to put that in the middle of the episode, not the outtakes.
Oh my god, that would have been fantastic, like, right in the middle of that.
Right in the middle of a serious conversation, she's been, like, zoomed to the dog.
Yeah, but we didn't even touch on how she, like, bought this, like, crazy expensive bottle of wine.
Yeah, that was really cute, that she was only going to drink it with her future husband. And
That's a lot of pressure for Chris, though.
I don't know. I just think there's a lot of stuff we're not seeing.
And she was the first one to drop the L-bomb.
Yep. I think there's a lot of stuff we're not seeing. I think there was a lot of little, cookie crumbles or whatever the term would be about Whitney. These last 2 episodes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of pointing. At least she's for sure in the final 2. She's for sure final 2.
I will call my final.
Becca.
I call my final 2 Whitney Caitlyn. Whitney.
Think so?
I think so because Caitlyn's relationship isn't, or
Becca's.
Becca's relationship isn't as.
Yeah.
Deep, like they don't have the sexual deepness that Caitlyn and Chris have, and like while he's okay.
Caitlyn and Chris have been going strong for a while.
Yeah, so I think that Caitlyn's just not, or Becca's just not up to where Caitlyn is. So I'm gonna call Whitney Caitlyn, and also only because Whitney Becca is too similar. Of a personality.
You want the kind of this? Well, I don't know. Whitney's got a little spitfire in her.
She got a little bit of spitfire, but they're both like those like.
But they're both like the perfect little image.
Yeah, so like
Caitlyn's
got the edge, but Whitney's got the spunk kind of.
Yeah.
Thing. So that's my call. But yeah, I'm gonna call my winner as a Whitney. I'm gonna lock her in right now.
Way to copy me because I've been calling that from the beginning.
But yeah, so that's, oh my god, we did this in an hour. We did 5 hours of TV. Take that, Eric. Said it could be done.
We did it.
We did it.
We talked about, I think, everything.
We did. We talked about everything. And in an hour. We're amazing. But yeah, so that's it. We're going to Bali next week. We're going to have fantasy suites, and then it's what? Women Tell All, and then it's the end. We have 3 weeks left, people.
I just can't wait for the Women's Tell All.
It's going to be a shit show of epic proportions.
I want to see Caitlyn just go psycho and, like, stab somebody.
I want to see Kelsey go crazy.
I mean, Kelsey, that's what I meant.
Between Kelsey,
and
Brit,
don't they usually sit in order?
Yes.
So wouldn't that technically mean they're next to each other?
Ashley, I, and
That's what I'm
Kelsey are
saying.
going to be
Ashley,
sitting.
I, and Kelsey should be next to each other, right? And then they're gonna bring them to the couch together to yell at each other, and then put them
Someone
back
is going to have
together.
a knife in their back. Someone is going to have a knife, like they're going to
I
get
just
up.
want someone to go Bad Girls Club at this thing and just be like talking to someone on the couch, and then just see Kelsey over there just like yank Ashley I from the chair down with her hair.
And then the other two that are going to be sitting paired next to each other are Brit and Carly.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these fighting ones are just like.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
And that's another point too. Is so how mad Brit was at Carly proves Brit said some shit. And
Yeah.
that's why she's so hurt that Carly said something, because she
Was
thought
it
they were
Carly?
best
Was
friends.
it Carly? You gotta tell me if it was Carly. Well, what does it matter? It matters. Was it Carly? Like,
Yeah. It's because she
basically,
knew she
she's
said
saying, I need to
something.
know who I'm gonna shank after this is over.
Yeah, because she wanted to go scream at a bitch.
Like, yeah. So yeah, that's it for this week. My God, 5 hours. I hope they don't do this again. That's great.
Ugh.
But the finale is gonna be what, like 3 hours? Because it's gonna be like finale and then after the final rose, right? Yeah. What's
They'll
not?
probably do a red carpet.
Oh my.
Bring
If
Andy
there's,
back again.
we are not covering red carpet. It's all I say.
It's pointless usually.
Unless somebody shakes somebody on that red carpet, it's not happening.
Unless someone's getting stabbed, we don't care.
Someone's got to be getting stabbed for me to cover that red carpet. Is all I'm saying right now. But we will be back next week. You can follow me on Twitter at dgoodyear1975. All of my Bachelor blogs, where I go a little more in depth on what happened on these dates, is at yourrealityrecaps.com/roses. And my recaps for Vanderpump Rules and Real Housewives of Atlanta are at yourrealityrecaps.com/bravo, as are John's audio blogs and Michael's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills blog.
Which I'll do tomorrow. So don't get yelled at.
I never yell at you.
I'm just kidding.
And then Celebrity Apprentice I'm spitting, I'm so excited. Celebrity Apprentice just finished, so Vince has just wrapped that up. He is now working on Hell's Kitchen. They just released their cast.
It's already coming back?
It's coming back. So
Did it just end?
it feels like.
He's got a lot of restaurants.
Yeah, so they just released the 18 cast members there, so Vince is now working on that blog. Melissa is doing King of the Nerds, and Hannah is going to be back next week with Amazing Race, and Melissa's going to be back next week again with Survivor. There's a lot going on, and John's going to be covering RuPaul in March, starts March 3rd, so there is a ton of crap to come to this website for. So yeah, that's
Everything and anything.
Al, that's all for me. What's going on with you?
Nothing!
Nothing.
I sit at home alone because my husband's gone.
Oh,
I just do
dog.
this.
You have the dog, so yeah.
Yeah, they're already crying for my attention.
Yeah, I wish I had wine. I've got this so I could talk. It's the only thing that's been keeping my voice. That's why we were late, by the way, like one day, because
Canada Pride over there in your hand.
yeah, Canada Dry. We were a day late because this voice here is actually fantastic compared to what I sounded like yesterday. So hopefully it's even better next week because I'm a little sick of having a sore throat. But we will be back next week, so bye everybody!
Bye everybody!
Bye!